Call the meeting to order. All please rise. I'm going to ask you to join me in a moment of reflection on the business that's before us this evening. And please join me in a pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Clerk, please take the roll.
Alderman Brennan.
Here.
Alderman Begley.
Here.
Alderman Basso.
Here.
Alderman Lewandowski. Alderman Key.
Here.
Alderman Scully.
Here.
Alderman McGrogan.
Here.
Alderman Clifford.
Here.
All right, there's no special presentations tonight. Under the consent calendar, I've got the approval of the minutes from the City Council meeting from June 3rd, 2025, along with the approval of payroll and a voucher list for the period ending June 13th, 2025. Need a motion to approve said. Someone please, Michael. Motion.
So moved.
Moved by Alderman Key. Second by Alderman Brennan. Roll call.
Alderman Brennan.
Yes.
Alderman Begley.
Yes.
Alderman Basso.
Agenda.
Aye.
Alderman Key.
Yes.
Alderman Scully.
Yes.
Alderman McGrogan.
Yes.
Alderman Clifford.
Aye.
All right, under my report, just a friendly reminder, with the heat we have going on now, check in on your neighbors, especially if you've got any elderly people in your house or in your complex. And if you have a problem with it, call 911. Don't hesitate to call. That's what we're here for. We can help you out. Then obviously, the next couple days, we expect a land market cast at the pool. As you can see tonight, it's packed, and probably the next 3 or 4 days, it'll probably be that way too. So just, yeah.
As we all drove by, you can hardly get a parking spot
Yeah.
through all the way up and down 76. Do we have, like, for these extremely hot days, especially this weekend, I was just looking, it's gonna be 95 to 100. Do we have the ability to stretch the hours so people could stay at the pool longer?
I guess it'd be like a staffing issue, that's the only
Yeah.
thing.
I mean, could you pay them overtime or something? I mean, just like, it would seem like it was jammed
So
over there.
for there's a swim meet.
There's a swim meet going on now. That's
Oh.
what,
There's a swim meet, and that even when the pool's been packed the last couple of days on warm days, the parking is still, even though it's been packed, it's been sufficient. Today it's an overflow because there are playoff games going on all the fields, and
Yeah, I just was thinking Saturday, Sunday, they said it's gonna be almost 100.
yeah.
So, I
Well,
mean,
we can mention
Saturday
it
and
to
Sunday.
the staff and see
if
what
somebody
they can do.
wanted to do it, just pay them a couple extra bucks.
Yeah, okay. All right, City Clerk, anything?
thank you, Mr. Mayor. No report tonight.
City Treasurer is not here. City Attorney?
No report.
Any communications anyone have?
Oh, Mayor?
Yes, sir.
I think all of us, or most of us, probably received a email from John Greer. He wanted to bring attention to the fact that in a couple of our wards, one was in the 4th ward, and I think the other one might have been in Heather and Brent's ward, some lack of pride of ownership on the properties. So Frank and the building department has jumped right on it. He was already familiar with some of the situations, and he's trying to clean it up. One's in court, and one might. But it's good to have residents bring us this information, because we didn't know about one of them, but we did know about the other.
All right, thank you, sir. Anything else? Citizens wishing to address the council? All right, Finance Committee, Alderman McGrogan.
Mr. Mayor, there's nothing to report this evening.
All right, Alderman Basso, Public Safety?
Yes, Mayor, I have no items on the agenda. However, I do have a report of sorts. A resident dropped off a mailing to my house just today and suggested that this may sound like a scam. Full-page letter, very professional looking. You'd be one of unique people to get one of these. I'll just make up a name here as Smith. This letter was addressed to Mrs. Smith, and it's coming from CMS Legal Canada. And just to paraphrase the page, it says that there is a Mary Smith who is deceased and left an estate of $10,800,000. And this person identifies himself as an attorney, but they're not asking for any money or transfer any funds or do any such thing. They're just asking that my resident, Ms. Smith, contact them to see if it's a possibility. I suppose that this is a relative. So if your name was Smith, you might have gotten one of these letters. Now, could this be a scam? Obviously. Could it be over-energetic, very a commercial-minded person searching public records, and, because at the end of the letter, it says that, proposal details. 10% of the received funds will be allocated to various charity organizations' distributions. The remaining 90% of the funds will be equally shared between us, 50-50. There's no hint here as they want upfront money or anything else. So, and they give an email address, et cetera, et cetera. I don't know. We could assume it's a scam. Somehow, somewhere down the line, somebody's going to get hurt, I would guess. So maybe the next time around, Mr. and Mrs. Clifford will get one of these letters. But who knows? Just so you're aware that there's a next scam possibly coming.
My best son's scam.
They know better to call me.
Why don't I ever get a letter that says I'm getting 10 million?
Wait, so it's funny until someone gets hurt.
Well,
Yeah.
right.
So,
Yeah, I agree. I understand.
First born.
just heads up.
So I have a personal one to respect. This happened to me last week, and you guys are almost looking at an $8 or $9 million winner of the Publishers Clearinghouse. So they called, and they started talking, and it said, "Oh my God, we're going to. Are they there yet?" And I said, "Oh, well, you're going to have the picture thing, but for sure we'll be there by 3:30. Are you going to be there?" And I swear. So it was like $8 or $9 million, $7,000 a week for the rest of my life, a Mercedes, and what color car would you like? And then they gave. It was like elaborate. And I just, I knew I was going to tell them to get lost. But anyhow, they were like trying extremely hard. Now, part of the thing was that there's taxes associated when you win a prize like that. The government always collects their taxes. So, is your bank close by? We'll run to the bank with you, and we can pretty much calculate what your tax is going to be. And then we'd like to get that done right away, so because you're going to probably want to go out and celebrate. They had the entire thing laid out, but some people could probably fall for this. But I told them, I said, you know what? I said, I'll tell you what. For that kind of money, I think I'm going to invite my police department over, because I'm not going to walk around with $8 or $9 million. Click.
What color car did you ask for?
I actually asked for a white one. I swear to God, be careful.
All right.
That's the end of my report.
Okay.
See what you said.
Nothing so exciting, Alderman Begley. What do you have when you're
I don't have too much excitement over here, other than to say I think the Public Works Department is doing a great job with the municipal grounds and property. And I have no further report than that. Thank you, Mayor.
All right. Alderman Scully, Planning and Zoning.
Thanks, Mr. Mayor. I have one motion for this evening. I have a motion to adopt an ordinance allowing Revival Yoga Wellness Center to operate a yoga studio as a special use within the premises located at 12211 South Harlem Avenue, as published and presented to us in our dockets.
Second.
Moved by Alderman Scully, seconded by Alderman Clifford. Any discussion? Roll call.
Alderman Begley.
Yes.
Alderman Basso.
Aye.
Alderman Key.
Yes.
Alderman Scully.
Yes.
Alderman McGrogan.
Yes.
Alderman Clifford.
Aye.
Alderman Brennan.
Yes.
That's it, Pat?
Yep, that's it. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. That's all for my report.
All right. Alderman Key?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to make a motion to approve payment number 10 to Simpson Construction in the amount of $102,756.89 for work completed for the pool improvement project.
Second.
Moved by Alderman Key, second by Alderman Begley. Discussion? Roll call.
Alderman Basso.
Aye.
Alderman Key.
Yes.
Alderman Scully.
Yes.
Alderman McGrogan.
Yes.
Alderman Clifford.
Aye.
Alderman Brennan.
Yes.
Alderman Begley.
Yes.
And then I'd like to make a motion to approve intergovernmental agreement with Worth Park District for when feasible and appropriate, the parties shall cooperate to develop, market, sponsor, implement, hold, and share recreational programming, activities, leagues, community celebrations, seasonal, special events, facilities, equipment, and staff. I'd like to just clarify this,
Sure.
because that sounds
A lot
very
of words,
complicated for something that we do very little of. There's a couple programs that we run through the rec department that you need a certain amount of participants for the program to run. Like, let's say tennis is the one that we're doing right now. We might only have a couple people. Worth has got the same thing. So we run them together so that we can just use one staff person to, teach the class. We collect our funds, keep them here, they collect their funds, keep them there, and that's what this is about. We have no plans to, but it's just moving forward. If there's more of those kind of things, it'll come to us as a committee, but there's no plans yet.
All right.
I'll second.
Moved by Alderman Key, second by Alderman Begley. Discussion?
I have a question.
Sure.
I'm sorry I missed that meeting. I was out of town. However, I would assume that we could do that, or we should do that, or we have been doing that without putting that in writing. Because it seems pretty simple. If there's only 5 people want to play tennis here and 5 people want to play tennis in Worth, and I would imagine you'd say, hey, why don't you go over to Worth and play tennis, or call them, send those people over to Palos Heights and play tennis. Why would we want to put those things in writing?
So if we do them independently, we will cancel the class if they don't have enough people. And Worth reached out, as my understanding, to get an IGA in place, probably for liability reasons and otherwise, but so to formalize the agreement. It's a pretty limited scope. It's really just to help all of our residents engage in these activities.
Can they use the pool? Because when I was pulling in, there was 2, I was wondering about it, 2 Worth shuttle vans,
They can use the pool, but they still pay non-residential fees.
Correct. I mean, are you meaning today?
Yeah, just
tonight?
now, on the way here.
There's a tournament going on.
Oh, so Worth, is Worth hit?
It's schools are running a tournament for the next 3 days.
Yeah, so it's just a couple
It's
of
in the
buses
evening.
coming out.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
But, generally speaking, non-residents have a different fee
Yeah.
structure for
Yeah,
using
they
the
just
pool.
pay as a guest.
Yeah,
right?
right.
Yeah.
Okay, any
And this won't change that.
questions? Roll call?
Alderman Key.
Yes.
Alderman Scully.
Yes.
Alderman McGrogan.
Yes.
Alderman Clifford.
Aye.
Alderman Brennan.
Yes.
Alderman Begley.
Yes.
Alderman Basso.
All right.
Thank you for that explanation.
You're welcome. So I'm going to make a motion to approve the annual payment to Time Clock Plus in the amount of $6,082 for administrative equipment and services for Parks and Recreation Department.
Moved by Alderman Key. Is there a second by Alderman Brennan? Discussion? Roll call?
Alderman Scully.
Yes.
Alderman McGrogan.
Yes.
Alderman Clifford.
Aye.
Alderman Brennan.
Yes.
Alderman Begley.
Yes.
Alderman Basso.
All right.
Alderman Key.
Yes. And then finally, our second concert in the park is Thursday. It's Nashville Electric. I think that speaks for itself as to what kind of music we're going to hear. And so come out. It's from 7 o'clock to 8:30, right by the gazebo. Come out and enjoy. And that concludes my report, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, sir. Roads and Construction, Alderman Clifford.
I have no report, Mr. Mayor, other than the current road program in various parts of the cities under full go. The big projects over on Harold Avenue, Cypress over there. Those are 2 big ones, so try to put up with that for a little bit. Other than that, everything's moving along.
Great. License, permits, and franchises. Alderman Lewandowski's not here. Alderman
I'll
Begley,
take
are you
it.
going to take that? Or?
I get it.
Alderman Clifford.
Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize.
Motion to approve the purchase of a 2025 Ford Explorer in the amount of $47,007.99 from Curie Motors under the Suburban Purchase Cooperative Joint Purchase Contract number 231.
You don't have a serial number yet, right?
Pardon?
To be determined.
There's no serial
To
number?
be announced.
There is no bid.
I just kid. Moved by
I
Alderman
could give you
Clifford.
one though if you like.
Second.
Seconded by Alderman Begley. Discussion? Roll call?
Alderman McGrogan.
Yes.
Alderman Clifford.
Aye.
Alderman Brennan.
Yes.
Alderman Begley.
Yes.
Alderman Basso.
All right.
Alderman Key.
Yes.
Alderman Scully.
Yes.
I just had one question during this. I was trying to get hold of Brent. I wasn't at that particular meeting, but I was asking why the purchase of that amount would have went through license permits and franchise rather than go through finance or
Well, I told you guys today, those are all budgeted items in the annual budget, so
for the department.
for the department, so they're all responsible for their own budget. There's a line item, so that would be why. And then, yet ultimately, it does come back through here, so the council as a whole approves every
Well,
expenditure anyway.
That's why I'm
so-
asking.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, I understand. That's the reason
So
for
if
it.
it was not in the budget.
If it was not in the budget, you have to
Then
put
we have
finance.
to, with the finance committee would look at it.
Right.
Well, I mean, when I read it, I wasn't at the meeting and I didn't see the thing there, and I just asked, why wouldn't that amount not be go through finance and looked at rather through license
Well,
permits and there?
Well, it's like when Breck buys a van, that comes through theirs.
That's
When-
fine.
No, but when Public Works buys a truck, that goes to
As
theirs.
long as it was budgeted through that department,
Exactly,
that's
yeah,
fine.
that's why we do the budget, right. All right, water and sewer, Alderman Brennan.
No report.
How about that, huh? Last time was, you had 13 items, now you're down to nothing, okay.
Your voice is so rusty.
All right, business and economic development,
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. No report.
cable TV?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, just a couple of quick comments about what's going on Channel 4 currently. There's a couple of nice programs about Meet the Merchant, featuring two long-term Palos Heights residents. Manny and Sarah Garcia opened Big B Coffee on Southwest Highway, and our own Mel Diab for Running for Kips has been in business for 28 years here in the city, and there's a nice feature about Mel and his store. That's all for my report.
Great. Any old business? Any citizens wishing to ask questions? New business? Entertain a motion to adjourn.
Move.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.